Hey everybody, welcome back to Tavian's World of Reptiles. I hope you are all taking care of yourselves and doing well. I told you I would be back, and I am. I'm about to be busting these videos out as often as I possibly can to make up for lost time. So today we are joined by Shere Khan, my carpet python. He is beautiful. Now, I told you guys that during that long stint that I was away actually for a solid 10 days away from my home. And so I really wanted to talk a little bit more about what I did as far as my animals went for that long period of time, and to give you guys some ideas of what you could do when you have to leave your reptiles for extended periods of time. So as far as my dog went, he just stayed here. My roommates have a dog, so it was easy for them to just go ahead and take care of him along with their own dog. So that wasn't a big thing. My rabbit is one of my more high maintenance animals. However, and them being a family of 5, I did not want to ask them to have to potentially clean her litter box, if not every other day, daily. Then also, making sure that her food was always full, as well as making sure her water was good, as well as making sure that I didn't come home after 10 days to a room covered in poop, 10 days worth of poop, because of the fact that when Evie is away from me, she gets emotional. She tends to start pooping all over the place. When I'm here, she's fine. She's great. She uses a litter box. But when I'm gone for more than a day, she'll just start pooping. So I just didn't want to have to deal with all of that, or be concerned about that, or have them be concerned about that. So I actually ended up taking Evie, my rabbit, to Avi's house. If you guys remember little Avi, he's actually the person I got the rabbit from. So she went over there, hung out with some other rabbits, was a bit of a hellion, I heard. She got way too used to being a single rabbit and just did not seem to take well to other rabbits being there to get attention. But anyway, she's back now. It worked out well. It worked out well. As far as my iguana, who is my other high maintenance pet, I with her enclosure, I don't have a humidifier at this current time, and so I would have required her enclosure to be sprayed down multiple times, as well as she needs fresh vegetables cut and provided for her every day, and then of course, like I said, the misting of her enclosure. So she's a little bit more high maintenance, as well as I would like to have regular interactions had with her, so that she regularly sees people, and I just didn't think that my roommates were capable of quite doing that the way that I would have liked. So what I did for my iguana was take her to my local reptile shop, who I have kind of befriended the owner of. She is a keeper herself, really loves reptiles, has been keeping this store afloat, and so I took Vastra to her, and she looked after her, and I took a bunch of vegetables, big bags of veggies, so that they had plenty to eat while I was away. So that's something that you can consider doing if you have a reptile shop that's nearby that you could really get to know the owner of. And if you ever go away for extended periods of time, maybe they would look after your animal, or animals, depending on how many you have. I was just the one. It was just the one iguana for me. But this is not always an option for everybody. This is not something that's available to everybody. But if it is, it's always something that you might want to consider. Now, as far as the leopard geckos went, they were pretty easy care, so I didn't really feel the need to take them anywhere. What I did was, in fact, put just enough bugs that I think would have contained them or taken care of their needs for the 10 days in the enclosure, and allowed them to hunt them down. Yes, even the babies with their MBD, I did test this before I just chose to do it. They were quite capable of just sort of running after their little food, and they did really well. I put the food in there, as well as I put both calciums in as well, so that the bugs would kind of go through it and dust themselves as they went, and it worked out well. I could see that the bugs got well dusted. All the dust was all over the place, so they definitely went through it, and there was no bugs when I came back, so they definitely ate. I was not concerned about it, and they took care of themselves, so they were easy care, and I didn't have to worry about it. It's kind of one of the best things that I like about reptiles, is that for the most part, with the exception of large lizards and things that need food provided to them daily, and can't really hunt for their own food, they are easy care. They're absolutely 100% easy care, especially snakes. What did I do for my snakes while I was away? Not much of nothing. What I did was I actually turned off all their heating elements because I knew the weather was going to easily be within the 80 to 90 degrees the entire time that I was gone. So I just left them in ambient temps because my room gets quite hot. Even with an air conditioner, it stays reasonably really warm in here. So, because I'm upstairs, so I just did that. I turned off their heating units, so that wasn't something that I would have to be concerned about or have my roommates be concerned about. As well as I actually made sure they had more than enough water in their enclosures. I misted their enclosures really well, especially those who needed higher humidity. I definitely bumped up their humidity, probably a little higher than I would have normally bumped it up, just so that it had plenty of time in those 10 days to just kind of ease their way back down to a moderate level of humidity. So it was all pretty good, and everybody was fine. Everybody was healthy. Everybody's water was great. They still had water, and everybody was good. There was lots of poop because I definitely also fed them a few days before I left, just to make sure that that was not something to be concerned about. Also, snakes are pretty easy care when it comes to leaving for extended periods of time. Now, yeah, if you feel like you want to have somebody who's going to come and provide them with fresher water than what I technically did, I just made sure that they had more than enough water. But if you want to have somebody come bring them water, I mean, and change their water out, that's something you could do. But for the most part, they don't require much. You can really leave them for some days and not worry about them at all. Like, snakes are probably one of the easiest animals to take care of. They are so low maintenance. Now, of course, I'm not, and that's if you only have a few. Of course, I have 16 snakes, so. But even with 16 snakes, I was able to walk away for 10 days and come back, and everybody was just fine. Everybody's humidity levels were fine. Nobody was sick. Nobody was suffering. And nobody was dried out with no water. Everybody was perfect. So, snakes are easy to care for. They're not something that you really have to stress about too much. Now, like I said, if you lizards can get a little bit more, a little less easy to care for, of course, like I said, iguanas, they need fresh veggies every day. Something like a bearded dragon would probably be okay for a while, drop its crickets in there, or worms, or whatever it is you're feeding, and allow them to just hunt them down as they need. I've done that. I've had a bearded dragon before, and I've had to leave for a period of time, and that works just well. So yeah, same thing with my alligator lizard. I just dropped a few bugs in there and left, and she fed herself. Provided a water bowl, which I don't usually do because she usually just licks off the mist, but I definitely provided one for her this time because I was going to be gone for 10 days, and misting that was not something I was going to get done. I could have asked my roommates, but as I said, they have a lot on their plate, and I just don't like to put more on their plate than they need. So I did take care of her that way. So reptiles, they're easy to care for when you have to leave for extended periods of time. I am so sorry. And it's not something that you really have to stress about. And if you can't find somebody like a reptile shop, if you really want somebody who's going to come and check on your reptiles, we've all got those friends nearby, who can't own a reptile, who probably wouldn't want to own a reptile, but they are super intrigued by reptiles. They love to come and hold your reptiles. It's those times that you want to call on those people, get them coming around a little bit more, let them know all the steps it takes to actually that are involved in actually caring for your animal, and have them be somebody that can come and take care of your animals while you're away. It gives them the experience, some little hands-on experience, and might even convince them to get their own reptile in the future. But if not, just gives them cool, extended periods of time to interact with really cool reptiles in the way that is proper, that you want your animals to be taken care of. Regardless of what you do, you want to make sure that your animals are taken care of, that you provide them with all the water that they need if you're going to be leaving them without somebody caring for them. And if you do have a high maintenance animal, you need to make sure that you can have somebody who's going to come over and take care of all their high maintenance needs. So that's all, you guys. I don't want to keep rambling. I think I generally covered everything that I did when it came to my animal care. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop those in the comments. I would happily answer those ASAP. And you guys take care of yourselves. Love your loved ones. Love your reptiles. Love your family. Love yourselves. And you guys keep spreading those herbs.